Hey, welcome back to another My Two Good Hands video. Today we're talking ponds, we're talking weed reduction, we're talking algae reduction, we're talking aeration. So we got this small pond behind the house and it gets covered all over totally in algae. We talked to the pond guy, he told us what kind of chemicals to use. We started doing some of that and it's cutting down on the algae quite a bit. So it's working good, and description below we'll have a link to Amazon where you can get those chemicals for your pond. He told us do 1/4 of the pond at a time. That's what we've been doing. It's a long, narrow pond, so we've just been doing the 1/4 by our house. And as the wind comes this way, more algae comes and we treat it. But it's going good. But one of the keys here is aeration. So we're going to show you what we got in the box here that I'm sitting on. And let's get it open. Let's get the stuff out, see what we've got. Reasonable pond aeration. Stay tuned, like and subscribe, post notifications on. Again, use the Amazon link to shop. It does help support this channel, and My Two Good Hands are real happy to see you do it. Now, there are more expensive aerator systems you can buy than this one. Now, the big plus with this one is it was reasonably priced, and the beauty is it was also small. So you can see here what we've got. This looks like this is actually an aeration plate. Boy, it looks like this is made out of stainless steel. That's a really nice stainless steel part. It looks like they did put... they did use PVC material. Not really sure why, because we're really not interested in that. But that's a pretty nice design. Got a place to hook up the hose, place to hook up the aerator. So obviously we got some work to put that together. The good news is we'll be able to put some lines through here for a rope. We have a couple of ducks we'll show you we're going to use at the top, so if you ever got to pull it up. This looks like this is part number 2 here. Repeat of the other one. I'll say it is inexpensive. They don't have the best welds on here, but that's not going to come loose. And if it was, I own a welder. I just weld it back. But you can see the heat didn't even come all the way through the other side. It's a heavy gauge material. We're probably 16 or 14 gauge on this, so that's kind of nice. Coming down to the next thing, it's an aerator disc. You can see what that looks like. Got a perforated rubber thing here, so you got all that, and this is the disc. So it looks like this just screws in. Doesn't look like we're going to need to put any pipe tape on there because it's got a gasket that's going to go against the shoulder. We'll show you assembly of that in a minute. And we got 2. Did come with 2 rolls of hose. That's the nice thing about this one. When you're buying one of these, watch. We'll put the Amazon link to this one. But watch what you're buying, because some of them will be cheaper by a few bucks, but they come with only 100 foot of hose. For 2 diffusers, I really wanted 200 foot of weighted hose. So this is what's in here, is 200 foot of weighted hose. 2 rolls of 100. So what we are going to do in our case, once we get one of these out here, is what we're going to do with this is we're going to cut this one to 60 feet about. That way we can have these 2 of these pretty far apart. So this one will be 60 feet from the shore, and then the next one, it's a long pond, we'll put the 60 onto the 40 left onto the 100 to be 140 foot. So they'll be spread out in round numbers 100 foot apart. So there you go. One of the other things we purchased separately, we'll put a link to these. These are decoy ducks. Basically, we're going to put a nylon cord through here, tie it to our diffuser in case we got to pull our diffuser up to service it. So you won't be able to drag it along the bottom of the pond because you get caught on debris. So that's what the duck is for. We did get 2 of these, so we'll give you a link to those. And meanwhile, we'll take our hose away and let's see what the compressor looks like. All right, that's not too heavy. It's over. We'll put this up here. They did give us a nice owner's manual. The owner's manual is going to tell us about safety, etc., what we got to put together. Now, this is the only box remaining, so we're assuming that all of this is in this box. So we should have some hose clamps, a timer, a manifold, some cords, that sort of stuff. We already took these out and those out. It does give you instructions here, how to assemble stuff, how to assemble this. So we're going to follow the instructions, and we'll walk you through these instructions later. But let's get this box open. Packed very nice. We have to admit this packed really well. Yep, see? Here you got another box in here. There we've got our timer, programmable. How you start aeration is a very important thing, and we'll go through that once we get this installed. And we'll kind of break this installation up into pieces. So there's probably be several videos here. Just like and subscribe. We're going to post one probably every week. Looks like this is already keeping time, so apparently there's battery in it. So that's pretty cool, and it looks like that. Also comes with some instructions here on how to operate it. So we're going to keep that. It's a daily timer here. It tells you on the back here. Pretty short instructions, but we'll go put this on the workbench and we'll figure out how to program it. So here's a heart of some of the parts we have to put on. Nice, it's in a Ziploc bag so we can open it and still seal it back up. So looks like we get some feet and stuff for the compressor. But the big thing is this manifold. Because this manifold goes onto the compressor right here. And what we have to do is we're going to have to put something on the compressor here, here, and here. And we've got a long line to run because we're going to put the compressor about 150 feet away from the pond in our shed. And you've got two valves here that you can, those are tight, turn on and off for adjustment, because we have to have some adjustment on which one gets flow because one's farther than the other. But we will have to get an adapter for this to our hose. We'll have to get that. We won't need a union there because we can spin this. Not sure really what we've got here. It looks like this is some kind of bypass or pressure relief system. So we'll have to check out that. I'm sure that the instructions are going to tell us everything. A few hose clamps in here, a few screws and what have you. And we'll show you the assembly of the pump in a little bit. This is not a huge compressor, as you can see. It's pretty tiny. Looks like we've got it wired up. It looks like there's a, looks like this is a solenoid to lift that blow valve. So we got to watch. There's some fuzz there. Looks like this is a piece that looks like this gets put on here. Like I said, we'll have to read the instructions. It looks like this is actually a solenoid to go on that other manifold piece as a blow valve. So we're going to look at that and see how we move that piece. We'll have to get some pipe tape, but it looks like this piece actually goes in here. So what we're going to have to do is take this piece here loose. We're going to take this loose and figure out how to put this down by the pond, but have this up on the compressor. And then we're going to have to figure out how to hook this to our air hose. And we'll show you the air hose in a minute. But this is kind of what we've got here. It's kind of interesting setup here. So we're going to take this apart to make that work. We do have a lot of this stuff on here, this bubble wrap stuff. But it looks pretty good. Everything looks in nice shape. So we're going to start working on this. Some of it, I would say, on your discharge side, always make sure you're going to use pipe tape, plumber's tape, make it look good and make it sealed. The muffler coming in, I don't think you have to worry about. But we're going to read the instructions and we'll be back. Okay, so the other thing we did do was buy a bunch of blue hose, 150 feet. Our plan is to run this from the compressor in the shed all the way down to the pond and hook up to this said manifold that then distributes to our two aerators. The reason for wanting to put hose, not put it down there, if I put the pump by the pond, I needed to run electric out there. I don't want to dig up my whole yard, and it's hard to dig deep. So this I could bury below the surface a little bit and be good, because if you cut into it with aeration of your lawn or something, or dig a plant, it's just an air leak, where the other one would be electrical short. So that's why we did it this way. We also got some cheap nylon rope here for hooking through our decoys to here. Looks like there's 2 holes here we can run them through. There's also these 2 holes, so we'll have to figure out how we're going to do that. And then this is where our aerator is going to go. So hose goes here. It looks like once we put this on, it ain't going to be that easy to put the hose on, but I think it'll be okay. So let's get cracking on this and figure out what the manifold stuff is next. So for the filter, they say you can use nylon tape. Don't necessarily have to, but maybe we'll go get some and put it on there, because we're going to need it anyhow. But reality here is this is the suction side, so if it had a little leakage, it wouldn't matter. They say to never wet this filter, and it doesn't look like you can. You can take the filter apart. So it's got a little filter element that you need to clean or replace. So we'll have to see how that works. It does come out nice. So we can go put this on. Somewhere they probably tell us about the filter and how often to do it. So see if they got a maintenance section in here. Yeah, maintenance, page 13. So let's see what they say about the maintenance. So the diffusers on the bottom to protect them from floating. So maybe we can screw a brick to them or something. Sand, soil, or hair-like ropes and plants, clean sediment regularly. They can get damaged if the filaments are plugged up, blah, blah, blah. Okay, avoid frost and ice, overheating, direct sunlight, ultraviolet. So in the winter, if you shut it off and your lip pond freezes, you got to leave it that way. Then the other thing, okay, clean and dry the diffusers when they're not in use. Air compressor with stable voltage. It doesn't really say anything here about our air filter, but sounds like it'd be a good idea to check this regularly and clean it, because it does just come open like this. Filter comes out, and I'm betting these little filters you can buy pretty easy. We'll have to look for that aerator filters and see what we can find. So we're going to go put this on. Again, it says you don't have to put the Teflon tape. It says if available, which is kind of interesting, because you would have thought they would have wanted you to put Teflon tape on there to seal it better. But again, it says use Teflon tape if needed. Never wet the filter. These steps to assemble the solenoid to the compressor. Take the attachments and wrap them in threaded tape. That's the other piece to prevent poor sealing. That's this piece that they're telling us to definitely use threaded tape on. But we have to figure out how to get this part apart. So we're going to get some wrenches and see what that's like. We're going to put this on the compressor here. But we're going to get some Teflon tape. We're going to get this apart too. There we go. We have a problem with this going all the way around, aren't we? This is going to hit there. So bring this back up a little bit. Come up on here. Now, if you put your pump by your pond, you want to take this apart. So we're going to have to take this to the hardware store and get a fitting like this. It's going to go from here to our hose. We're probably going to bring it up and bring it out and away a little bit too, so we get a little heat barrier, because I don't put my rubber hose right where this will get hot, because it's right on the pump head. But we'll be putting this on there. Don't really know how this works, but I'm assuming there's a plunger valve in there, and that's how that works. So that's how that goes. This we can put back on, because we got to get our tape to put in there to seal that. Because this piece, again, we're going to have to get a fitting here to attach this to our hose. I don't know if you saw the hose fitting. It's like this. So it's very large compared to the other part, see? So we're going to need to narrow this down. But your line in the ground, you want it to be bigger so you get the right airflow. Otherwise, you restrict the airflow on that distance. The pump's going to work really hard. So to put this on is pretty easy. It's got a gasket, so we probably don't need any pipe dope on here. We'll just put a little just so we can say we did. It'll make it turn easier, if anything. And we're going to put this on here like this. You'll feel this. It gets nice and solid all of a sudden, so that's a good thing. All right, so we're going to go put this one down. I'm going to bring the other one up here. Large 3 Phillips screwdriver. So there we go. Those are on. So boom, boom. So that's good. We look at the instructions, and we know that the muffler goes in this one, looking at the instructions. So again, we're going to put a little bit of plumber's putty on there. You want to be careful not to get any of that into your pump because that could mess things up. So make sure you come back a couple threads when you put it on. You can see that comes up. That doesn't even really seat out that well, so it's good that we put some putty on it. Try to see if we got a wrench that'll go in there and tighten that better. Looks like I'm going to have to find a very thin wrench that goes on there. Maybe this one will go on there. Oh, look at this. Will this one go in there? Not quite. Let's see if it's... Oh, that's not the right size. Now that one will go in there. Okay, so we come here, put this on there. There we go. I get my head on. And of course, you can change the filter without taking the rest of it apart. That's very good. So that's on. One of the next things they tell you to do, you got to put this on. They gave you a pull tie to put this on with. Slide it up this way and pull the pull tie, but I don't know. I'm going to probably get another pull tie for this real quick here because that's a pretty wimpy pull tie they gave us. I've got some nice black ones here, so I'm going to use a couple of these instead. Be much sturdier. Yeah, this one isn't doing much, but we'll put another one there. And we need to get a pliers to pull that, so we're going to go get that. Looks like that's on this side. So on this side, they want you to put this in. Now we're going to put this in like this. Got to remember this is where their fitting's going to go, and then we're going to get this on there. That's pressure relief valve. But what we need to do is put a little of this on here. Again, don't get it over the end, but this is the pressure side, so it probably won't matter as much. Get a little more on there. Okay, so that's definitely not binding up on the threads. So we're definitely going to have to go find our plumber's tape and use that on there because the this sauce stuff is not going to work well. Plumber's tape. So what we're going to do, wipe this off good. When you put your plumber's tape on, got to remember you're going to turn this clockwise as it goes in. So you want to make sure when you wrap your tape is wrapped in such a fashion that you're not going to spin the tape off. So you can see I'm coming around here with the tape this direction. So I'm turning this piece clockwise still in my hand. That way I'm getting a couple rounds of tape on there. Now I can put it up here. The tape will go in there. with it, and it won't want to spool away. See how that's working? Going in pretty good now. Again, the same sort of thing here. We're going to turn this. It looks like we have to go one more partial turn here. I don't know what we have for a wrench to hold that. Let's see. Is that this one? I think that's this one, right? No, not that one. It's this one then. Okay. So you can see we can bring this around. And bring this around to be straight up. Just like that. Now, going back to the instructions, they tell you to put that on. And they tell you to take the thread loose on this, because this should be a blow-off valve, and put this over it. Looks like the electric wire goes down. Now that's important because this is going to run in one direction. So if you put it on this way, I can guarantee you, it ain't, oh, see, it can't even, it's fixed so you can't even put it on that way. But I guarantee you, you put it on the wrong way, it ain't going to work. So that's that. And then if we plug this in now, air's coming out up here. If you see, this is lit. And that's when I unplug this, I put my finger on here and I unplug this, you hear that, psh, that's this thing letting the air out down here. So that's kind of cool. So that's pulling this to let the air out. So that's kind of nice. Little pressure relief. So we're going to stop right here. We're going to need a couple of these clamps. We're going to need to go from this, which spins on here, to this, which is what's on our pipe. We need a couple nipples that are female. We're going to come up with this with a pipe, and we're going to move it way over, mount it. So we're going to come up and away, so away from the heat from the compressor with our rubber lines. There you go. So next video, we'll start showing you the install out in the shed. So don't forget, like and subscribe to My Two Good Hands. We'll catch you in the next video. This is pond aeration on the cheap. This pump was a little around 300 bucks, all right? Now the one from Pond Guys is great. It's a lot more money. I will tell you, it's probably a lot more robust. It's got a bigger warranty, all that great stuff. Maybe we're going to get one of those, but we thought we'd start out and see how this works with an inexpensive pump and what have you. Because, you know, hey, My Two Good Hands, we try to save you money. So we're going to see how this goes. If it doesn't work out, well, then maybe we'll upgrade. The thing is, this one does not have a cover. So you'd have to build a cover if you're going to keep it outside, maybe use a plastic bin upside down or something and cut some air holes for vents and temperature control. We're going to put it inside a shed, so we're not going to worry about rain or sleet or snow. And then we're going to run the hose all the way down to the pond. So don't forget, like and subscribe, post notifications on. Amazon links below. Shop. If you want to buy something else from Amazon, use the link, go to Amazon, buy something else. It does help support the channel no matter what you buy once you come through the link, and we do appreciate it. We'll catch you in the next video, and it'll be soon.